Now, Jack White is a name that doesn't really need too much of an introduction. He is a very famous guitar player in the current scene. He has been half of the White Stripes. He was also in the Quantum of Solace soundtrack, writing the theme song alongside Alicia Keys. He was also in a guitar session with Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin, alongside The Edge from U2, in which they did a couple of guitar performances and talked about, of course, a lot of Led Zeppelin songs. He is an extremely talented guitarist, also working alongside Neil Young, helping him produce an album of his. So, without further ado, let's get into this album. That's a tip from you to me. Hi, my name is Chilli, and I'm from Live Listen Erased, and on this episode of 5 Minute Review, we're going to go over the Jack White album, Entering Heaven Alive, and I'll try and keep this very short. Entering Heaven Alive is the second album that Jack White has released in 4 months. This serves as a stark comparison to his other album After the Dawn, which was a much more hard rock and, well, heavy rock influence. Anyone who knows the White Stripes will be pretty familiar with that style, or more along the side of, say, Blunderbuss. So as mentioned, this album is mostly acoustic songs. There's maybe 1 or 2 songs with an electric guitar in there, but for the most part, this is an acoustic-y, folksy kind of album. There are some very interesting styles that Jack White covers on this album. For example, the song Help Me Along covers a bit of a ragtime-esque kind of style, and he covers this very decently. He has a very good knack for filling these styles and just getting the vibe of it.
It's the vibe.
We need to find a place that's new. One of the most interesting songs on this album is I've Got You Surrounded with My Love, which covers a bit of an R&B element, like the 60s era of R&B. You know, almost Motown in its style, because I really haven't heard Jack White do this genre, and he does it very well. It's a very catchy tune, and the song can get really stuck in your head. Another intriguing track was the song Taking Me Back Gently, which reminds me of some 1920s folk and blues songs, and it's a really captivating song. Leave me at home and the witchcraft that you're a song that I found quirky but not up to my liking was the song Queen of the Bees. And it just reminded me a bit of, I don't know, I guess I would say the Beatles in their early 60s era. It had some very odd arrangements, especially with the acoustics of the song and I guess the backing effects of the track. It's not my cup of tea, but others might enjoy this track. This album's quite interesting because you can see it was written all in one stage but decided to be kept separate on purpose. It reminds me a lot of the In Your Honor album from Foo Fighters, which side 1 had all the hard rock songs and side 2 had all the acoustic version songs. Clearly this was a decision made by Jack White to keep it separated and to have different ideologies with these albums. It's probably worked out best in regards to this. If both albums came out at once, I'd probably be a bit overwhelmed and would favour one over the other. The album itself is fairly short at just a bit over 40 minutes long, and that's a perfect runtime really for any album that Jack White does. It's a short album that doesn't require a long time to listen to, and that's rather perfect, I guess, in this day and age. If this album was released alongside Fear of the Dawn, then I think that both of them would be trying out to go against each other. So the 4-month wait in between albums really was a great decision by Jack White in regards to this. I've heard Fear of the Dawn and I've enjoyed Fear of the Dawn. And of course Entering Heaven has come out now and that's given me time to fully appreciate it. Overall, I give the album 850,000 chilies on the spicy scale, with the best tracks being A Tip From You to Me, Please God Don't Tell Anyone, and A Madman from Manhattan. At the end of the day, I'm not the biggest Jack White fan, and maybe I won't fully appreciate all his works. After all, the works that I'm more familiar with were his days when he was in his tenor with the White Stripes. That is the music I'm mostly accustomed to, that garage rock sound. And while I don't mind acoustic albums, this one isn't exactly up there. It's still a very interesting album that I do appreciate, and I will probably go back to this sometime soon. But overall, I think it's just an album I might not appreciate in its entirety compared to, say, a true Jack White fan. Please let me know below, Jack White fans, if you guys thoroughly enjoyed this album or what your thoughts were in regards to this. I'm keen to hear from you guys. Thank you very much for tuning into this episode of 5 Minute Reviews. Don't forget to do the socials and all that, and have a great day. Stay spicy. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Live Listener Race. And if you have enjoyed this episode, make sure you share it with all your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our Chilli Con Carnage Crew so you can get notified for all the future videos that we put out, as we put out videos every Friday. Also, we are on Discord, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter over at Live Listener Race, so make sure to tune in over there. And don't forget to like this video so that our manager can stay very happy.